In this video, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 best auctionable cards right now in NBA 2K23 Myteam. If you guys don't know what I mean by auctionable cards, every single card in this top 10 will be directly purchasable from the auction house, so there'll be no free cards like the RNG from Season 5, the Purvis Ellison, the Danny Ferry, the Mike Bantam. There'll be no grindable free cards like Dr. J, KG, those cards that can maybe make somewhat of a list, or like the Kembe Mutombo or Terry Dischinger, because yes, you can buy cards to lock in for the set, but you can't directly purchase a Terry Dischinger off the auction house compared to like a T-Mac. You can go in the auction house right now and buy a T-Mac, where Terry Dischinger, you do have to bid on 5 Dark Matters and then obviously lock in for Terry and Dikembe Mutombo. So this is going to be my top 10 best auctionable cards you guys can just directly purchase off the auction house. And let me know in the comment section down below, who are some of your guys' favorite cards in the game right now that you can purchase right off the auction house. But coming in at the number 10 spot for me is going to be Auctionable Ricky Davis. He's a shooting guard, small forward, 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan. If we're talking about auctionable 2 guards, I think he's the second best in the game. Terry Dischinger, like I said, he is going to be a lock-in card. And then I think after him and obviously T-Mac, I think it goes Ricky Davis. I like his jump shot a lot. I think he's gotten an amazing jump shot with the Oscar Robertson upper, easily my favorite upper in the game. And then you look at his dribble sigs, he's got the John Wall escape, which is really nice. Even the T-Mac size up is decent. It's not my favorite size up in the game. I'd rather him have maybe like a Garland size up or a Steve Francis or even a Kemba or Trey, you know, those type of size ups, but it's still really good. It still can move really well on this Ricky Davis card. And then all around, he plays really good defense in game because he's 6'7" at the 2 and does have some pretty good gold defensive badges and Hall of Fame anchor, clamps, and menace as well. So for me personally, I think Ricky Davis is the 10th best auctionable card. Coming in at my number 9 spot is also going to be another card from the high res set, and that is the Dark Matter Devin Booker. He's a 6'6" point guard with a 6'6" wingspan, and he is easily the best or second best offensive point guard in the game between him and Pete Maravich. But once again, can't include Pete Maravich in this top 10. Not sure if I even would, but yeah, Devin Booker has such good defensive stats. Like, that's the biggest difference if we're talking about Pete Maravich, who's a really good offensive point guard, and same thing with Devin Booker, who's another really good offensive point guard, is the fact that Devin Booker plays so much better defense than that offensive card in Pete Maravich. He's got an 85 block, 95 steal, 97 lateral quickness, 97 perimeter, and a 92 interior defense. And then you take a look at the Hoff badges, he's got Hall of Fame anchor, clamps, glove, and menace. So he's going to play very good defense in game. And then we know on the offensive end how elite this Devin Booker card can be. He's got the Curry base now, he's still got that Devin Booker upper, and then he's got really good dribble sigs with that Trae Young escape, which is going to really help him for obviously getting his 3-ball lob. So overall, I think he's the 9th best auctionable card. Coming in at the number 8 spot, in my opinion, is the best small forward in the game, is going to be Dark Matter Bill Russell. Now, if you want to go with maybe Jonathan Bender, maybe even a card like a LeBron or a Jonathan Isaac, I could definitely see so. Once again, can't put Purvis Ellison or can't put Danny Ferry in this top 10, and I know those guys are cards that people really like and enjoy using, but for me, I think Bill Russell, because of his defensive presence, is the best small forward in the game, and I think he's a top 10 auctionable card. He's 6'10" at the small forward position with a 7'4" wingspan, but take a look at these defensive stats: 98 block, 95 steal, 97 lateral quickness, 96 perimeter, 99 interior defense. He's pretty much got maxed out defensive stats, and then he has every single Hall of Fame defensive badge in the game, and also pretty much max tendencies as well, with a 95 on-ball steal tendency, 99 shot or 99 contest shot, and 99 block. And then he's also got a 0 foul tendency. So I mean, this card just as a defender is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I don't think it's close when we're talking about defense of who's the best defender in the game, at least for all around. It has to be Bill Russell, and he's easily the best lock in the game as well. So for me personally, I think Bill Russell, one of the better auctionable cards in the game. At the number 7 spot, I think you still got to give it to Dark Matter D-Rob. It might seem a little bit low, but I think there is better big man cards for the auctionable price. Like, I do think he's still one of the better bigs in the game, but I just feel like there's a couple more that are a little bit better. But yeah, we know what D-Rob can do. A really good 7'1" big man, 7'5" wingspan. I think nowadays you probably want to run him at the 4. Now that we have cards like Taco, we have cards like the Kembe who play the 5, Kareem, Yao Ming, obviously. I think those cards are more of 5s, more of centers, where I feel like D-Rob probably slides over to the power forward position now, which is perfectly fine. I mean, he's got good speed, he's super athletic, he's got really good defense, and he does have a capable jump shot. I wish his release was on very quick timing, so it just felt a little bit faster in game, but still all around, like I said, one of the best big men in my team right now, and all around an absolute beast, even for his price tag. At the number 6 spot, I do got to give it to Jimmy Butler. I think him and number 5, you guys will see here in a second, is really just a toss-up and who you guys prefer at the point guard position. For me though, Jimmy Butler's such an elite point guard. He's 6'7" with amazing defensive stats, 92 steal, or 92 block I should say, 98 steal, 98 lateral quickness, 98 perimeter, and a 94 interior defense. And then you take a look at the defensive halves, and just like a card like a Jonathan Isaac or even a Bill Russell, I mean, he's only missing 3 on Hall of Fame. Like, he's got gold rebound chaser, brick wall, and box out beast, and then every single defensive badge is on Hall of Fame. And then offensively, I'm not the biggest fan of his release. It's a solid jump shot, not my favorite release personally. And then we all know he's gonna have the Trae Young escape, which is really nice. Tendencies are pretty good for the on-ball steal tendency and the driving dunk as well. So for me personally, Jimmy Butler at number 6, and I do have Cade Cunningham at number 5. But once again, like I said, that is really a toss-up. If you want to put Jimmy Butler over Cade, I think that is a very fair comparison. And if you want to say that, I mean, I would not be mad or disagree completely if you throw Jimmy Butler over Cade. I just personally like him a little bit more because I think he's got the better player model. He's 6'8" with a 7'1" wingspan. Personally, I do like his jump shot a little bit more as well. I know that's probably a little bit of a, I wouldn't say controversial, but I would say it's probably an unpopular opinion. I do like his jump shot a little bit more. He's also got a tiny bit better dribble sigs because they both have the Trae Young escape, but then he's got the Kyle Lowry size up, which I do think is a lot better than the Jimmy Butler size up. And then he's also got the quick drops off one and the front clutches, which I think Jimmy just has the quick drops, right? I don't think Jimmy has front clutches. Yeah, so he's just got quick drops. So I feel like front clutches are super nice to have on your point guard, and basically that's an unblockable dunk. Now defensively, and that's where Jimmy Butler's a lot better, but I would take Cade personally on the offensive end. But at the number 4 spot, this is where we start getting to some super elite, auctionable cards. And at my number 4 spot, I'm going with the Dark Matter Kristaps. I think if we're talking about auctionable big man, he's got to be the second best in the game because Kareem's not going to be on this list and Dikembe's not going to be on this list. So it's either him or D-Rob because we all know who's going to be at number 2 or number 1. So Dark Matter Kristaps, 7'3" with a 7'6" wingspan. He can play the power forward position as well, which is super nice to have. I feel like that versatility is super good in this card. I'd recommend most likely just playing him at center because he's got a great jump shot for the big man spot. He's got a very solid release, like I said, and then defensively, like, he's got a 95 block, 94 interior defense, some pretty good Hall of Fame defensive badges. I think he's just a tad bit slow to play the power forward position. I mean, you can 1000% run him at the 4. His size and player model will definitely make up for it, for his lack of speed, but I'd recommend running him at the 5, and I do think he's the second best auctionable center in the game. At my number 3 spot though, it's got to be this Pink Diamond Taco Fall. I mean, he's just the most ridiculous big man in the game. One of the most cheesiest cards in my team. I would say maybe even cheesier than Yao Ming. He's 7'6" with an 8'2" wingspan, and the fact that he can play the power forward position is completely broken. And I will also say, you're going to see 64 speed and you're going to see 64 acceleration. This is the biggest lie and the biggest myth in my team right now. There's no absolute way that this card has 64 speed. He plays in game like he has 85 speed. Like, when I run with Taco Fall, he does not seem a lot slower than a card like Kristaps. Like, they pretty much feel the same speed, and the fact that he's got an 8'2" wingspan and one of the best player models in the game, he's gonna cover more ground than a card like Kristaps. So just because of his player model, he's an absolute dominant force at the power forward position, one of the best matchers in the game, and I feel like probably the only really must-have card in the game unless you're trying to build the God Squad. Because he can guard the Yao Mings, he can guard the Kristapses, the D-Robs, the Dikembes, the Creams of the world. He can guard all of those cards in game, where a D-Rob can't really guard a Taco or a Yao Ming. He does struggle a little bit because he's a tad bit undersized for those type of cards. But at my number 2 spot, I mean, it's really just 1 and 2. I mean, I got Yao Ming 2 and I got T-Mac 1. Really could flip that however way you guys want to. If you want to throw Yao Ming number 1 and you want to go T-Mac number 2, I think that's a very close debate in the sense and just kind of what you prefer at your position. Maybe it's Yao Ming, maybe it's T-Mac. I mean, they're both just the easily best cards in the game at their position when we're talking about auctionable cards and not counting Terry Dishinger. But I don't think even Dikembe Mutombo or a card like Kareem are on the same level as Yao Ming. Like, Yao is definitely the best center in the game. I just think as a card, T-Mac might be a slightly better than Yao, but Yao just affects the game in so many different levels, and Taco is not that much worse than Yao in my opinion. I know Yao is a lot better. Like, Yao is better than Taco, but I don't think it's by like a massive margin. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my top 10 auctionable cards, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.